Good morning. I am a super connector and a super networker. I also like to think I'm a good friend. Lots of people talk to me all of the time, and I hear a lot of common threads out in the community. Everyone is out of work right now. There's no way I can compete. There are already 200 applicants. Why should I even apply? I've sent out dozens of applications and no one even responds. What is the point? Well, I've been laid off or I've been fired. I'm really at a disadvantage. Nobody wants to hire someone my age. I do not have the right kind of network, and on and on and on. You get the point. These are not uncommon thoughts, and these are stories that people tell themselves, and we hear it and you repeat it. And I'm sure you've caught yourself thinking, hearing, repeating some of these things. If you have found yourself in a career pivot, or even if you haven't, and you're just trying to add to a conversation, when someone is in full out victim mode, they're just broadcasting loud and clear, I am not ready to do what it takes to complete this pivot. But see, the thing is, these statements, they're not the real problem. It's a symptom of what's going on in your head, because they do sound like facts. And honestly, there is a grain of truth in every one of those statements. Yeah, the job market is competitive, ageism exists, layoffs happen. And yes, we've all been ghosted. But when you start perseverating on these stories and you surround yourself by people who are just spitting these things back at you, and you have just this victim community going on, they become your soundtrack, and you are actually laying down the anchors that you're pulling in this career pivot that's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you unemployed, or at best, it leads to you settling and taking a role that's sometimes half, if not a third, of what your previous salary was or what you're worth today. Just a few days ago, I was coming back from the airport, and my Uber driver told me that he had a master's in software engineering, 15 years of experience, a top secret clearance. And he said, I can't get a job, so I drive. That's the exact moment that makes me snap back into this conversation, because these stories that we hear and we believe, they hit us in our heart. We have empathy and we feel for people. But as long as you keep telling these stories and believing these stories and saying these stories to other people, you're just contributing to this problem. Today, I want to talk about what lies beneath this story. And those are the mental barriers that are quietly shaping how we show up, how we apply, how we come across in an interview, how we network, and how we talk to ourselves. Because until you understand, you're going to just keep self-sabotaging without even realizing it. So what are these barriers? What are these mental things that are going on in our heads? Barrier number one, our old identity is dragging us back. Your brain keeps reminding you of who you used to be in the glory days, or maybe just all of the things you've gone through, or all the steps you've gone up. And it's keeping you from figuring out what you want to be in this next career stage. So how can you reframe that? You're an amazing asset. You have education, experience, and network, all of these things. You have to figure out what you need out of your next step and how you can package yourself to get yourself there. And then in your head, you are this person, become this person. I am a VP of marketing. I am a strategic consultant or an entrepreneur, whatever it is. Name it and start acting like it. Barrier number two, overthinking the entire path. Yeah, it'd be really nice to know where you're going before you act, but that's not always how it works, because sometimes that leads to us not moving forward and not doing anything. Clarity comes from movement. I know 3 people who landed jobs in the last month by showing up and moving forward every day, building their personal brand, having conversations, One person landed a job because through conversations, this position was created just for them because their brand shouted out on their LinkedIn and how they showed up in conversations, who they are, and the type of culture change they could bring. A person saw them, saw that brilliance, and wanted to create a position for them. Others, the other two, learned about opportunities through conversations and had their brand documents all in alignment and updated and were able to apply quickly and land roles. So, what can you do to start creating momentum for yourself? Create one thing you're going to do this week. What is it? Yes, it's a holiday week, but you still have a couple days. Barrier number 3, perfectionism disguised as preparation. We've all been there in that analysis paralysis, researching, planning, watching YouTube videos. How do you update your LinkedIn? How do you do your resume? But you never actually do it. You don't bother applying because you don't check every box because there's already 200 applicants. Your next step doesn't have to be perfect. Move forward with that imperfect action because it just needs to be done. Those little micro steps create that momentum, and then the next step, and then the next step. For instance, get that application out and then figure out how you can stand out from those other 200 applicants. What can you do? I can help you with that. So the quick tip, reframing, is ask, what's the smallest imperfect step I can take in the next 24 hours to help me in my career pivot? Barrier number 4, you're trying to get it all done. You think you should have everything figured out, and so you don't ask for that support you need. Job searches are a roller coaster of emotion. They're difficult. There's lots of people out there who can support you. You create your own support structure based on what your needs are. Do you need the accountability partner? Do you need someone to practice interviewing with? Do you need someone just to take your call when you need to cry? Who could be in your support community? You don't have to do it alone. This week, pick one person, a coach, a cohort, a peer friend, a mentor, whoever. Who can you start connecting with to help you navigate this career pivot more fast and so it doesn't hurt as much? And the final barrier is the most ironic. Number 5, the fear of visibility. I can see it on my clients and my prospective clients' faces when I say it out loud. If all you are doing is applying to want ads, you may never land. I know someone who has applied to over 1,500 openings. 1,500! You have to be visible. You want an opportunity, but the thought of what you have to do to be visible can freeze you. And visibility, this isn't about showing off or being impressive. It's about being findable. Like I said, you have so many unique skills, education, experience, but if no one can find you and you can't articulate who you are, what you do, and what value you bring, how do you expect to land, let alone be found? So pick one visibility move you can make this week. What is that? Is it getting that LinkedIn finally updated? Is it going to something in your community or in your like a business networking group? Is it signing up to be a speaker at a conference? How can you get more visible so people know who you are and what you think and how you're going to help their company or organization to make more money or deliver on its mission? Yes, it's scary, but what can you do? Put it on the calendar, because you're not stuck because you're underqualified or the job market's impossible or because you've been laid off or because you're over 40 or because you don't have the right network. You're stuck because of the stories that you keep telling yourself, the stories that feel familiar and safe. And sometimes we surround ourselves by the people who mirror those stories right back at us because that feels right and true. But it's really, you need to do the opposite, though, because all of those stories are quietly keeping you from moving on to your next chapter. If you are ready to do any of these action steps today, everything I walked you through today, your identity, your overthinking, your perfectionism, doing it alone, fear of being seen. There are some of the most common barriers that keep us anchored, not all of them. And once you learn to recognize them in yourself, you can move through them. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. You can schedule a call with me. My link will be below in the chat. You can also join my Project You Sprint. If you're ready to knock one big thing off your list before the end of 2025 and create amazing momentum going into 2026, this is for you. The sprint is designed to get you into this motion moving forward. So I'll leave you with this. Your next chapter is already available to you, but you have to stop standing in your own way. I hope this was helpful, and please join me next week for building your career safety net. And it's not about what you think. It's not about building an emergency fund. So join me. I look forward to it. Have a great holiday break, and I'll see you next week.